Welcome back to Light the Fuse, the only Mission Impossible podcast that just feels like getting the job done. You know?
Just accomplishing that mission.
Yeah, just accomplishing that
week
mission.
after week.
Week after week, aided by Kevin Blumenfeld's beautiful and legally dissimilar music.
Yes.
I mean, no copyright infringement there, I'll tell you that.
Nope.
And once again, it's Charles Hood is here.
Hello, that's me.
And
you
Drew
are
Taylor.
Drew Taylor.
Yeah, and we're out of threequel. Sad to see it go.
Threepril?
And now we're in May. It's a new month.
We don't have a name for May other than May.
But we're gonna do a kind of an alliteration. We're gonna do the mailbag today.
Yes, we've been talking about doing a mailbag episode, and we've had so many questions from everybody over time while we've been doing this podcast that we figured it's time to stop for a second and get into some of these questions. About it.
Sometimes it's good to just look around and just assess things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we do, I just wanted to also remind everybody once again about our Patreon. We're starting to get people on there, and we love that we're seeing that. So thank you so much for your help, and we would love to continue to have your support so we can continue making these episodes every week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun for us, but it's also a lot of time and a lot of effort and money. And so it's just it's great to have your support. So thank you so much for helping us out with this. And without further ado, let's get into some of this mailbag stuff.
Okay.
Melissa from San Jose, California, she's talked to us a few times, but she told us about a James Bond podcast called James Bond Radio, where the two hosts, they had a big episode, I think it's episode number 142 of James Bond Radio. They talk about Fallout extensively, and they talk about how they sort of feel insecure. The James Bond series feels threatened by Mission Impossible.
How do you feel? You're a big James Bond guy.
I grew up watching the James Bond movies with my dad, so I love the James Bond movies. But I've got to say, I think Mission Impossible's taken its spot. I mean, for me,
there's such purity to it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the James Bond movies so much. But right now, I mean, my excitement is for Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
it's just so consistent, and it's so filmmaker driven, and. And I do. Skyfall was very filmmaker driven. I love the Martin Campbell James Bond movies. I think he's made two of the best ones, Casino Royale and GoldenEye, and they're great. They're really great. But I also think there's something about Ethan Hunt that will stand the test of time better than James Bond.
Right.
Now, I think James Bond, if you watch some of those older James Bond movies, is... it's
a little problematic.
Yes, to say the least, yes.
Yeah.
But, let's also say there are some great ones. I mean, I think On Her Majesty's Secret Service has such an amazing female character in it that it was the first time that James Bond really met his match. Yeah. And that's a great one that... I think if Sean Connery was in that movie, it would be universally thought of as the best James Bond movie. But it was the first one he stepped out, and George Lazenby stepped in. And he does a good job, too. He's kind of underrated, unfortunately. But, I'm just sort of rambling about James Bond now.
Have you been seeing the set photos and stuff coming out of...
I'm trying to avoid the set photos.
Shatterhand.
Is that what it's called?
That's the code. That's the code name, supposedly. Shatterhand.
Okay, cool.
They're shooting in Norway right now.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is... much in the way that Casino Royale felt inspired by the Bourne movies.
Yes.
I would like to... It'll be interesting to see if the new one is inspired by the Mission Impossible movies in the same way.
Right. Well, that's the thing that I've always loved about the James Bond movies is they are not... They are always... They do kind of follow the trends.
Yes.
They don't necessarily set them.
Right.
That, as the fashion changes, the style, you watch some of those late 70s Bond movies, they get some disco in there. You got Marvin Hamlish's Bond theme, Bond 77, which is...
and famously set in space. Moonraker was set in space.
Yes, Moonraker following up the popularity of Star Wars.
Yes.
So that's the thing that's fun about Bond, I think, is it's a reflection of where the trends are. It's not necessarily setting them. So, yeah, you're right. I wonder will the next Bond now, and I think they talk about that a bit in that podcast episode, how threatened is the James Bond team feeling, producers, and do they feel like they need to match Fallout? Will they be able to match Fallout? My quick answer is probably not.
Probably not, no. And I think that what we learned from Spectre was when you tried to top Skyfall, you run into some problems.
Yes.
And I'm excited about this. It seems like it's the last Daniel Craig, but yeah, I'm very interested to see if it'll be inspired.
I'm also very sad that Danny Boyle didn't get to do it. I think Cary Fukunaga is going to do a great job, but Danny Boyle doing James Bond would have been very cool. would have been different, and I think it would have been exciting. And that is more of potentially a trend-setting Bond, but instead, maybe they're gonna. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we're big Boyle heads over here.
Yes, do love Danny Boyle. So let's move on to Ian.
Who's next?
Ian from London.
Okay, London call. His email is called London Calling. Hello.
We have a good number of followers.
We do.
Listeners in London.
We do.
And so Ian sent us an email with addresses for all these different shooting locations from the different movies. So London has been such a huge presence in this franchise. So Ian, thank you so much for sending us all of these locations and pictures of these locations that he's visited, and that's so cool. Ian Russell sent us this, and we'll if Ian, I think will hopefully be okay with us posting some of these photos and some of the work he's done. We'd love to do that on Twitter and let you guys see some. Maybe if some of you in London who are looking for some of these locations, if you haven't already found them, we've got all that info for you.
Yeah, I feel like we'll do an episode in London at some point. That is my goal.
Oh yeah. We have to.
It's very funny.
We should do a live episode there,
should.
so if we got listeners there, they can come meet with us.
Yeah. We could do it at the pub at the end of the first one, which they stole the shot from or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I was in London a couple of years ago. Every movie was shooting in London, and I was in London probably 7 times in 1 year, and I never went to any of these places. Now
you know where they are.
Now I know where
so
I
next
am.
time,
next time I go,
you know to go there. So next is Graham, also from the UK. So we always talk about the memorabilia and how we want Mission Impossible memorabilia. Graham has got the Mission Impossible memorabilia. He's got pictures. There's this, I want this thing. I can't find it anywhere. He's got, I think, the last one ever. It's a suitcase from the first movie. It's like this metallic suitcase with Mission Impossible in the, like a sort of below the handle, embossed in it. And it's the original first movie logo. I want this suitcase.
Yeah.
I don't even have a use for a suitcase. I just want it.
I'm just going to say this, Graham. You got a great collection. Dust them off. Or maybe that's just my... you got to dust off your stuff. It's a little dusty.
Come on, Graham's got... Just take it easy on Graham. He's got this thing. He's got a Mission Impossible Rogue Nation watch.
That's true.
Which is really cool looking.
Yeah.
And with Graham's permission, we will post some of this stuff. Oh, and part of that, the suitcase from the first Mission Impossible, it's got spy gadgets inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's got an old school sort of walkie-talkie and a flashlight, binoculars.
What if I use that tape recorder in my day-to-day life?
Graham, how much? What's it going to take?
Yeah.
What's it going to take, Graham? All right, we're going to be breaking into the Bad Robot offices soon, so we'll break into your home if we have to.
What's great about this is that Graham, it looks like he has not used any of this stuff. I feel like you and I would be on that walkie-talkie every day.
Maybe it's better that Graham has it so it'll be preserved.
Yes.
So that we don't wear it out.
Yeah.
What else does he have in there? He's got some other stuff too.
Oh my God. He's got everything.
He's
Fallout AirPods or
earbuds? Like earbuds, I think, that are Mission Impossible Fallout. I imagine those must be still available if it's for Mission Impossible Fallout.
Well, I think they were promotional items, so we probably cannot actually buy them.
Yeah, and I think we shared with Graham our we have the toy sets. You know, we've got the Ethan Hunt toys and the van, the Matchbox car of the van, which is cool.
Yeah.
So Graham, if you keep collecting, please send us in more items. We send us pictures or send us the items themselves too. We'll take them. So next, let's see who else do we want to hear from. There's Dan Stunkel.
Okay. Dan
messaged us something fun that I thought was a nice little bit of trivia. He said that in high school, his password for everything was AW96B6. And he said, I hope you know what that comes from.
Do you?
I had a guess, and then I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure this is what it is. It's the password in Langley.
He never answered us. So
I asked him. I emailed him back to say, like, is that the password in Langley? You know, when Cruz is dangling, he's got the disc in his mouth or whatever. He watches the guy enter the password, and then he enters the password. Is that? I think that's what it is.
I think that is too. I was watching the movie on BBC America the other day, preserved in its original aspect ratio.
Oh, good on you, BBC America. Thank you. And they showed MI2 also.
Yeah, right afterwards. I think so. I was falling asleep. This is when I was sick the other night, and I was falling asleep. But I think it was, yeah.
Well, good. Thank you, BBC America. You're doing God's work.
Also, I want to just do a blanket statement to everyone out there who has been asked. I think this is more questions that I've been asked as well as who was originally cast as Elsa. We don't know, so we can't tell you. But
we've had a few people respond after McQuarrie's interview.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe he'll talk about that one day on our podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have the answer for that, which is Dan asked that too, but he's one of many. So
yes, and then next let's hear from Ryan Van Dyke from Australia. Ryan made a chart. He did a chart that pointed out that he basically broke down all the Mission Impossible movies by cold open, credits, mission delivery, Act 1 set piece, Act 2 set piece, and Act 3 set piece. And then he had a little PDF chart made of each of all of them and sent it to us. And then he asked us what's our ultimate mission. Because he said his ultimate mission is...
This is him combining all the movies.
Yes, combining pieces of like what to make his ultimate Mission Impossible movie. And it's the Owen Davian intro from the first movie. Then classic credits, which I assume means from the first movie or from the old show. Probably the first movie.
Yeah, probably the first movie.
And then he said record store for the message delivery, which is Rogue Nation. And then Vienna Opera, which is also Rogue Nation. Then he said the Burj. But he said Langley is close behind.
Yes.
And then he had Kashmir helicopter chase from Fallout. That's a pretty
combination.
Awesome ultimate mission. What would your ultimate mission be?
I really like the cold open from the first one. I think that's amazing. Mm-hmm. The opening credits, I'm going to go Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
I love how long it is. I love the whole thing. Mission delivery, kind of love Fallout. It's pretty great. Act 1, set piece. Ooh, what do you think about this? I guess it's got to have to be the opera.
The opera? Okay.
Yeah, but I think you're going to say the...
we'll get there.
Okay. Act 2 set piece is going to have to be the Burj. I agree with that. Right, Langley highest, close behind. And then the third set piece, I think it's going to have to be Kashmir as well. Although the bullet train is so great, and people always knock the visual effects in that.
No, they're great.
They're amazing. They hold up so well.
Yeah.
It's so real. The model work, again, ILM is just amazing. And yeah.
I remember I was just recently, it's kind of insane, but recently I was just going frame by frame on the part where John Voight gets crushed by the helicopter.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty, I mean, I think they must have done it with a dummy or something,
yeah.
But that's all in there. It's not like it's, I mean, maybe the helicopter in a tunnel doesn't really make much sense, but visually they made it look great.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if the train is producing air.
Right. And if you recall, in our making of the first movie, there was a person who flew a helicopter through a tunnel just to prove that Mission Impossible, just to prove that it was done, it could be done. So, yep.
All right,
good stuff.
All
right, my ultimate mission. Okay, let me think about this. Cold open, I think I agree with you. The first movie. Cold open. Mm-hmm. Opening credits. Ooh, that's really tough.
I love his distinctions of them too. It goes, so it's classic, Chimera, Sparky Fuse, 3D, classic 2.0, and then Flames.
Yeah, to me, I feel like maybe classic or classic 2.0. I mean, obviously, I love the guys from Filmograph so much.
Yeah.
So sitting down with them was amazing, Aaron and Seth, and so I kind of want to maybe pick Rogue Nation for the credits because it's, I don't know, I want a full credit sequence because the first movie is kind of a shorter one, but also Fallout's great. This is really tough. This is really hard.
You love the
hard
dossier in Rogue Nation.
Yes, the dossier is in Rogue Nation. There it is. Done. Rogue Nation. Okay, so cold open for the first movie, Rogue Nation opening credits.
Okay, mission delivery.
Then mission delivery. I'm also gonna go with Fallout.
Okay.
Because I love the I Am the Storm.
Yeah. the Odyssey.
And then Act 1 set piece is, I'm going to go with Halo Jump.
Really?
Yeah. What'd you think I was going to go with?
I thought you were going to do the... Oh, he's saying the Agent Ferris rescue is Act 1. Okay, that's probably true. Yeah, I thought you might go with the Opera House, too.
Opera House. Yeah, that's tough, because I love the Kremlin. This is too hard!
And the mole hunt is great, too.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And the car chase.
Yeah, this is really hard.
That's probably the best part of 2 is the dancing cars.
Damn you, Ryan. Why are you doing this to me?
Okay, you said
all right, okay, so, all right. Act 1 set piece, I'm going to go with the opera. I'm gonna go with opera.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Opera.
All right.
All right. Then Act 2 set piece. I'm gonna go with the Burge.
Okay.
Even though Langley is really hard to
Yeah.
pick against Langley. And then the final set piece, of course, is Fallout.
Yeah.
Kashmir helicopters.
The best.
Yeah. Hard.
That's
to
a
beat
really
that.
cool. I love how creative people are who love this franchise. I'm not going to say they're fans of ours. I'm just going to say they're fans of the franchise because they do things like that are just so cool.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Those are our fellow mission heads.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a name for what the
Yeah.
Mission Impossible fan base
missionaries?
is. I was thinking about doing that for a Mission Monday. Name the Mission Impossible fan base.
Right.
So if you got ideas for that, please let us know what we should call ourselves. Mission heads doesn't quite sound right.
I think missionaries is cool.
Missionaries?
Yeah. What do you think?
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So next we've got Daniel Goodbaum.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about people who are creative.
Yes. So Daniel Goodbaum is a video artist based in Toronto. And he says he's a big fan of the podcast. Thank you, Daniel. He is also really interested in the Mission Impossible films, and he just released a new video piece called Mission, which is a re-edited version of Mission Impossible Fallout with all the dialogue removed. And it's really just a beautiful art piece he's got on Vimeo, which is just Mission Impossible with all the dialogue cut out, and it's just Lauren Balfe's music.
We should
And it's
send this to
really
Lauren.
beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
And it's a fun thing to check out. So we'll put that link out there so everybody can check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely worth watching. It's even just if you skim through and watch different scenes and just kind of see how much of the story gets conveyed without dialogue in just the way it's done. It's beautiful. It's
pretty awesome.
So yeah, thank you for that, Daniel. And then let's talk about how about Jacob from the Netherlands.
Okay.
Jacob is a big fan of the podcast, and he's got some questions for us.
Okay.
He wanted to know, do we think Mission Impossible 7 and 8 will be the final movies?
I think they will be the final movies with Ethan Hunt as the main character.
Okay. You think Ethan will be around,
I think he will
but
be
not
around.
the main character?
Yes. I think as long as Tom Cruise is breathing in oxygen, he will be shepherding this franchise in some way.
I agree. You also have to wonder with how everything is pushing more towards television. This was originally a television series. Will it go back to that at some point? Would it be time? I mean, by the time the second movie comes out, it'll be 3 or 4 years from now.
Yes.
Will they go back to television with it?
I think the big question is, will CBS and Paramount make amends? I think that's...
They're at odds.
They're at odds.
about
They're
TV
part of the
series
same
rights.
company. Yeah, but they are at odds.
Interesting.
Which is why...
I also assume Cruise probably doesn't want them to turn it into TV
Yeah,
series.
but I think... I would watch a half-hour Benji show. I would watch an MI.
Well, I would love to. I think Skydance did some tweet and we responded to them because they were like, "Who would you want to see lead a show or something of characters or whatever?" We're like, "Give Maggie Q and Paula Patton a Mission Impossible TV series. Let them lead an IMF team." That would be so cool. One or both of them.
Yeah, I also think this franchise is more elastic maybe than Paramount is giving it credit for. I think that you could do a half-hour workplace comedy set in the IMF that is just about the guys behind the scenes. I feel like you should be pitching this, but
I don't. But to answer the question, I agree. I with you. I don't think this is the end. No. Unless these movies bomb horribly, but even if they do, they'll reboot it. They'll reboot it and they'll do more movies.
Yeah.
But I think they're here to stay. We're gonna get more movies.
More movies.
Don't worry.
I think maybe one of the shortcomings maybe of the franchises that we haven't had, just like an Ilsa movie in between regular missions. And I think that...
But maybe that's what this is going to lead up to. Maybe this will branch off.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because there's so many amazing characters throughout the franchise that you could build things off of. Anyway.
I mean, they're doing, Hobbs and Shaw?
Hobbs and Shaw.
A spin-off for Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
We'll see. Another question from Jacob. Do we think they'll go to space? Yes.
You do?
I think so.
I don't
If not for the next two, they will eventually.
Okay, here's the problem with space, and here's what I'm going to tell. This is my philosophy about space.
Everybody says they're going to go to space. Everybody keeps asking, are they going to go to space? They're going to go to space. It's the only way to top the Halo jump.
Right. But here's the thing. Unless Tom Cruise can go to space, they're not going to go to space.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's...
Of course.
I don't think right now in 2020, it's going to be... Or 2021, it's going to be physically possible for him to go to space.
Right.
Because he's not an I mean,
Tom
Cruise is many things not an astronaut.
That's why I think they will, but maybe not in the next two movies.
Yeah.
But they will eventually.
At one point.
As soon as Cruise can get to space,
he will do it.
it's going to be in a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah. So I say no.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then he asks which people of the technical department is coming back. So he says he's hoping for Eddie Hamilton, Rob Hardy, and Lauren Balfe, and Wade Eastwood. He thinks he'll be back.
I think Wade will definitely be back.
I don't think McQuarrie's gonna do the same thing, where he said he wants to make himself a new director.
Right.
I think he'll repeat. I think for sure Eddie Hamilton will be back.
Well, yeah.
Since he did the last two, I would think Lauren Balfe will be back. Beyond that, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's always so tricky with people's schedules too.
I was gonna say that, like, committing to this is a lot.
That's a big.
I mean,
big
we
job.
talked to Eddie. I don't know if Eddie, it's on the interview, but he was talking about, it's a lot for a lot of these people who get offers for these multiple jobs, and a lot of these jobs are 2 movies, and I think that that's a big commitment. But everyone loves making these, so I could see them all coming back. But at the same time, could bring in new blood.
I mean, that's got to be so hard for schedule. I imagine a couple people are going to drop out just because of the schedule.
Yes,
because you're going to be shooting nonstop for 2 years, basically.
Yeah,
and that's a huge commitment.
Yes, I also think
maybe it's easier for people on the post side who are Eddie's working in LA, then that's not as bad. But if you're DP for this project, that's a big job.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the creatives will obviously be going from one movie to the next.
Yeah,
there will not be any change.
It'll be the same DP for both.
Yes.
I mean, we'll see who comes back. It's going to be hard. It's a big commitment to do 2 movies.
Wow.
So we'll see who comes back.
Well, I mean, this is the most important question we've ever probably been asked. Do you want to go to a movie premiere of the Mission Impossible movies? I mean, I think you know the answer to that. Yeah,
Jacob, come on, Jacob. Yes, of course.
We're dying to go.
We're gonna break into the next movie premiere if we have to.
He says he's been to 3 premieres of cruises, and he's gotten
amazing.
a photo with him at 2 of them.
He's got photos that he sent us with him and Cruise, and another photo of him with Christopher McQuarrie. So Jacob, hats off to you. That's awesome that you've done that.
Oh, he's got that Blu-ray that we got to buy off of eBay now. That's the stunt version of Rogue Nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. So Jacob's got the
inside
Rogue Nation Target exclusive Blu-ray that we're trying to track down currently for our making of Rogue Nation episodes. Wow. So yeah, Jacob, thank you so much for your questions, and I hope we answered them okay. Next, let's see what TJ Knowles had to say.
This is on Facebook.
From Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
TJ said he loves the podcast, and he wants to know what our ideal makeup of an IMF team would be. Who's our ultimate IMF team? Drawing characters from the TV shows as well.
Oh, what would you say?
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's real tough.
I thought you were going to ask this one about your ideal makeup of an IF team as in point man, tech guy, scuba guy. And I would say, like, just all the middle management guys, like the Avengers.
You want to see like Brassel,
Kittredge,
Musgrave, Swanbeck. It's got to be a prequel, so Musgrave's still alive.
Yeah.
And then it's just middle management bosses in an IMF team.
Yes.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that's the spinoff.
Who's the leader?
Baldwin. It's another prequel.
Hunley.
Yeah, Hunley's in it.
Hunley.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
As the ultimate IMF team, obviously Ethan Hunt, and then obviously Luther. I'm going to say Luther.
Yes.
I'm going to say Benji.
Okay.
And
what about TV show characters?
Can we put Elsa in there as an IMF agent now? Does she count? I mean, this is going to be a big team, because I also want to bring in Roland Hand, and I want to bring in Barbara Baines' character Cinnamon Carter from the old show as well. And then I guess that's kind of
no Lupus.
No, I don't need Lupus.
All right.
I mean, I like Lupus, but I'm trying to show some restraint here. I've already got like 6 people on this team.
Yeah.
I mean, what about you? What's your ultimate
No, you're
team?
right about Roland Hand should be in it.
I had to cut out Brandt. I mean, I feel bad.
Yeah.
I love Renner.
Do we think Renner's going to come back?
I think Renner will be back.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He's done with the Avengers is over. He's done. He's got his schedule will be freer, I hope.
Yeah.
They're not making a sequel to Tag or anything. So should I ask this next
So
one?
what's your ultimate team though? You got an ultimate
I think
team?
that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of all
I want
to
bring back the like sleight of hand, so I think Roland Hand would be
Roland
good.
Hand would be cool. I mean, in his prime, obviously, Martin Landau, rest in peace.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors ever.
Yeah. How do you think a film where Hunt wasn't the main character would fare? And I think we kind of answered this. I think it would be great.
Yeah, we'd love to
bring
see
it
that.
on.
Or like I said too, a TV show with Paula Patton or Maggie Q heading the team.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah. He also asked if we're going to do an episode on the press release materials, like the trailers and posters? Absolutely we are.
Yes, TJ, we're going to do a marketing episode, hopefully soon. And that should be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Got one listener for that. That's good.
And then from Twitter, we've got Jonathan Barton asking, what stunts we'd like to see in future movies.
Yeah.
So what stunts would you like to see? I mean, obviously everybody brings up space.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant to speculate. Especially, I never want anyone to think that we know something more, because we are now we know these people a little bit.
But they would
we
never,
don't know.
But McCory would not let us know that.
No, he would never trust us with anything of actual importance. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that we don't have any insight as to what they're planning.
But I've heard him talk in multiple interviews about what's important for them in these stunts is showing that it's actually, you have to be able to see that it's Tom Cruise. And that's why they had that special helmet made up for Fallout that lit his face.
Right.
So that you can really see that it's actually him doing the Halo jump. And that's what's important to them. And McCory, I don't know if it was in our interview or somewhere else, said that when they get their writer's room together and you get these great people talking, these great creative minds talking, they pitch things, but it's like everybody pitches the squirrel suits. You ever seen those squirrel suits where people like glide close to mountains and things? But the first question's always, well, how do you prove that that's Tom Cruise? How do you show that that's actually Tom doing that? Right. And that's what's important to them is doing a stunt that really you can see that it's actually Tom Cruise. Yeah. So working backwards from that. What's a stunt that can actually have Tom Cruise? I mean, you got to have, I don't know.
Surfing? I don't know.
Jumping off of a waterfall?
Yeah, something. Yeah, I don't know.
Some kind of drone camera going with him?
Yeah. I'm trying to think, he's been in pretty much every mode of transportation.
This is the reason why we don't make these movies. We just enjoy them. Yeah. And then McCory's got the tough job of coming up with what this stunt is. But what we'd like to see, I mean, I'd love to see, Brad Bird talked to us about the snowmobiles alternate opening of Ghost Protocol. I'd love to see some of my favorite sequences in James Bond movies are some like in On Her Majesty's Secret Service and that snow palace thing. If we had a siege with snowmobiles or something, do something with that. I mean, that might not be the flashiest of stunts, but I'd just love to see that visual. It's always fun to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's also just fun to see them in different atmospheric conditions and things like that.
And as we talked about in the Making of MI3 episode, that the Reichstag in Berlin. Yeah. It's like working backwards, I think, from monuments. Like, where do you want to see him do something?
Yeah. What is he going to be hanging off of next?
Yeah.
Which I think is what McCory is doing right now.
Yes.
All over the world.
If you look at McCory's Instagrams, he's showing funny pictures. Like, he has very mysterious pictures of where he is, like cool looking locations. He's looking for where they're going to shoot.
But also shout out to everyone who listens to this podcast and has been decoding where McCory is. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there was one guy on Twitter who worked backwards to figure out where one of those locations was. It was really cool. Let's see if I can find it on here.
It was like in Russia, or was that the one?
In Moscow. So Daniel Patterson on Twitter said, using some investigative journalism skills, I cross-searched one of Chris McCory's recent Instagram photos on Google and found out that this tunnel is on the Tverskoy Boulevard in Moscow, Russia. So he said, I assume this means he's scouting in Moscow for MI7. So that's really cool. I mean, we just, love all our Mission Impossible fans who are obsessed with Mission Impossible as much as we are to figure this stuff out. Yeah. So is that it for the questions?
Yeah, I'm looking in the mailbag and it is empty.
All right. Well, then keep sending us questions via email and social media. We will, I don't know if we'll do another mailbag episode anytime soon, but
I hope not.
But we'll always answer your questions probably right away if you just send us stuff. We're standing by waiting.
Yeah, we want to know that anyone is listening to this podcast. So any questions you have would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/LightTheFuse. And this episode is brought to you by Jeremy Dillon. He is our big Patreon that we have.
Oh, yeah.
He's IMF secretary level.
Wow, so this is IMF secretary.
Yeah, so this episode is brought to you by him, Jeremy Dillon. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And we still have to reveal who we are interviewing next week.
Go for it.
Do you want to tell him?
I'll tell him. It's Barney Berman, and he is an amazing makeup effects artist. He worked on the third movie, So this is obviously why I wanted to extend 3Pril, but it couldn't happen for logistic reasons. Comes from a family of makeup artists. He has amazing stories about Tom Cruise, about J.J. Abrams, about the making of the film. I think we both fell in love with him.
Yeah.
We were so happy to have him.
Yeah, he's really cool.
And,
He won his Oscar for Star Trek, for JJ's Star Trek, the first one. And he has great stories to tell about that as well. We really talked about a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I think you're going to like it.
Yeah, definitely. Also want to bring up a totally new thing that just started. So we're doing a little cross-promotion with 3 other podcasts. So a friend of mine, Matt Enlow, who I went to USC with, he has a podcast called Just Shoot It, which is about filmmaking. It's him and another director, and they talk about how to make it as a director in this crazy world of ours.
Have you been on the show?
I have, actually. I was on an early episode of Just Shoot It, and
you were a lot more optimistic about that.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. It's probably 3 years ago now. And I did a little jingle for them that they use in every episode now.
Oh, yeah.
Because they do a fun thing at the end of every episode where they do unpaid endorsements. And I did a little falsetto.
Can you hit us with it?
I think it was unpaid endorsements.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they still use it. They actually do live shows a lot, and I want to go to one of the live shows.
And do it?
Yeah, Matt asked me to do it once, and I couldn't make it work with my schedule, but I really want to go to a live show. Just walk up on stage and just sing that and then walk off. Just wave. But they have a great podcast. If you're a director, aspiring director, really awesome, really insightful stuff. And Matt has engineered this cross-promotion where Just Shoot It podcast and Making Movies is Hard, which is another great movie-making podcast, and then another one called Respect the Process.
Right.
They are all filmmaking podcasts. I think Respect the Process is geared mostly about commercial directing, and Making Movies is Hard is another filmmaker podcast, someone who made a movie and knows that experience and talking about it. And so we have our podcast is about Mission Impossible, but it's also very much about filmmaking.
Yes.
Anyway, it's taken me a long time to get to the point.
Yeah, what is the point?
The point is, this is a contest. We are asking you out there, please do iTunes reviews. This is a race between us and these 3 other podcasts to see who can get to 25 new iTunes reviews the fastest.
Right.
So we have to get the troops, the missionaries.
Yes.
Everybody out there.
Yes.
If you haven't written an iTunes review yet, go do it. If you already did one, make a new account. Write another one. And then make another account.
Yeah.
Write another one.
Yes.
Get us to 25 today.
Yeah.
Because we got to win this.
Yeah, we want to beat them so bad. Our competitive instinct is really kicking in. And
Yeah.
we really want to just pulverize these other podcasts that, for all we know, have never mentioned Mission Impossible once.
Yeah.
So,
I would guess they haven't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And also, if we lose, I think we have to do an ad for the winner in our
God.
podcast. You don't want ads.
No. Yeah, you'll probably have to do a falsetto for Enlows. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So
I shudder to
please
think.
help
Anyways,
us.
do it.
Help us.
And
We
while
need to
you're
win.
at it, while you're online writing up our review, you know what? Maybe you're getting cold. What do you need? A t-shirt, a sweatshirt, something from our official Light the Fuse TeePublic account.
Yes.
It's a great Helvetica shirt that my fiance designed that...
My wife has a sweatshirt already. She's got one.
And you're wearing
at
the
home.
shirt now.
She's 9 months pregnant, and she's wearing it.
Wow. We need to put that up online. She would kill us, possibly. But, yeah. So get that now. It's on the website. It's on TeePublic. We're going to have new designs coming soon. And you can stick this design on pretty much anything. So go nuts. But, yeah, it'll help us out, and it'll keep us afloat as well. So...
Yeah.
You have anything else to add, Charles, after your long-winded endorsement?
No.
Okay.
Just please check out our Patreon. If you love our show, please even just throw us $1. We'd love that.
Yeah, we would. It means a lot.
And we'll be back next week with our interview with Barney Berman. Two-part episode. It's really great.
It's an awesome interview. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Yeah.
So, until then.
Bye-bye. Thanks again for listening, everyone. And before we go, another mission, should you choose to accept it. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And remember that you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LightTheFusePod and email us questions or comments at lightthefusepodcasts@gmail.com. If you'd like to watch the original Mission Impossible television show, all 7 seasons are currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.